Among the major tasks before us, none is of greater importance for our strength and stability than the task of building up the unity and solidarity of our people. Hello there. Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. It's Tuesday, the 23rd day of July. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. Coming up in the show today, a message of resilience and hope from some residents of St. Elizabeth and Maypen in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. But first, let's take this public service announcement about the importance of giving blood, followed by our daily news package. Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, July 23, 2024. Jamaica has received financial support from the Cayman Islands to assist Hurricane Beryl recovery efforts. Premier Juliana O'Connor Connolly made the contribution of $200,000 to Prime Minister Andrew Holness during a visit to his office on Thursday.
This is not a small contribution.
It's a deposit.
200,000 United States dollars. It's significant, and we appreciate it. And I can guarantee you that this will be used to assist the families who have been displaced and dislocated. In fact, this will go into our disaster preparedness fund.
Although this was a quick trip just to extend a small token of gratitude for your country and yourself, we want to bring a more fulsome Cayman Airways over, filled to the brim. So when we go back, that's our job. We keep in mind my cabinet secretary. He's already been informed that his sleep is going to continue to diminish each night because we will return.
Premier O'Connor Connolly has also toured sections of Clarendon that were severely impacted by the hurricane. Meanwhile, in a gesture of solidarity, the government of Japan has extended a helping hand to Jamaica by donating essential relief supplies in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. This support, delivered through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, includes 220 large tents, 100 plastic sheets or tarpaulins, 1,000 sleeping pads, and 2,200 polyester tanks. Both governments signed a cooperation agreement for the supply of items and shared the importance of bilateral partnership to a country's development.
We have been working odiously together with our Jamaican counterparts to tackle environmental and climate change issues, as well as mitigating our vulnerabilities to natural disasters.
We rolled out the JICA communication system during the hurricane season, and I must tell you that we are pleased with the results of the system, and I want to use this opportunity to express much thanks and appreciation.
The Jamaica Public Service Company JPS is being warned not to inflate the bills of customers to recover losses sustained by Hurricane Beryl. Minister of Energy Darrell Vaz revealed last week that the power company could access contingency financing for this purpose through the Electricity Disaster Fund. He said the value of the fund was $50 million and the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, had approved a $5 million drawdown by the JPS.
The $50 million fund, which is built into the tariffs, is also specifically to make sure that those funds can be used by JPS, and JPS doesn't have to fund the recovery, which would drive up the price of electricity. So we can expect, based on the fact that they will be drawing down on this fund, that the OUR would not be in a position to approve any increase in JPS utility bills on the heels of Beryl.
After this was issued by Minister Vaz on Wednesday, the JPS on Friday issued a notice to customers that June-July bills may be estimated. This prompted another response from the minister, who indicated that estimated bills should be less than the previous bill, and the OUR would meet with the JPS this week to discuss the matter.
In relation to what can be done to ease the burden of the JPS customers, in relation to an extension on the timeline when the bill is due, some kind of moratorium, as Jamaican people are suffering. Most persons, especially in the affected areas and other areas, have lost their livelihoods due to farming and other activities that have been damaged severely. So I think it is, in my mind, a bit insensitive in the way they communicated that, especially in light of the fact that they still have a lot of work to do to restore electricity across the island. And as we speak, there are thousands of persons that still do not have light.
Minister Vaz says this is being monitored to ensure equity and justice for persons who are impacted by Hurricane Beryl. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is reporting a continued downward trend in crime and violence. Between January 1 and June 30 this year, all categories of major offenses showed an overall 12% reduction. Murders went down by 14.5%, while there was a slight upward movement of 2% for shootings. A decline of 32% was registered for rape, with the downward trend continuing for robberies with 15% and 6% for break-ins. The details were presented by Commissioner of Police Dr. Kevin Blake last week at the Jamaica Constabulary Force's monthly press briefing. Another success, according to Dr. Blake, is an overall increase of 14% in the seizure of illegal firearms over the same period. This represents the removal of 422 illegal firearms from the streets and communities. While sounding a call for persons to report criminal elements, Dr. Blake says there are far more lawful and law-abiding persons in the country than the lawless and criminal among us.
The JCF urges anyone with information on the whereabouts of criminals to come forward as part of a collective effort to ensure justice and restore peace.
Commissioner Blake also warns perpetrators of crime that the JCF will be unrelenting in bringing them to justice.
We will disrupt your criminal activities and isolate you. We will come for you. When we do, we encourage you to lay down arms and surrender willingly. If you meet us with aggression, we will respond with superior force and we will win because we are smarter, we are better trained, and better resourced.
Still on crime, Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake is also reporting the seizure of counterfeit goods worth billions of Jamaican dollars. This was done by the Intellectual Property Unit of the JCF between 2022 and 2024.
So pre-COVID, the JCF Intellectual Property Unit destroyed over $3 billion worth of counterfeit goods. Post-COVID, between 2022 and 2024, JCF seized approximately $3.35 billion worth of counterfeit goods. 14 persons were brought before the court and convicted for breaches of the Trademark Act, which resulted in over 10 million Jamaican dollars in fines imposed by the court.
The Intellectual Property Unit is within the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation branch of the JCF. It enforces intellectual property rights laws in Jamaica, primarily the Trademark Act, the Customs Act, and the Copyright Act. And finally, the public is being encouraged to share feedback or recommendations on the protected area policy as the government moves towards the finalization and implementation process. Persons have until July 30, 2024 to make their submissions to ermb@megjc.gov.jm with the subject line, Overarching Protected Areas Policy for Jamaica. You may also drop off your submissions to the Environment and Risk Management Branch at the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, 16A Halfway Tree Road, Kingston 5. The draft policy was approved by Cabinet and tabled in Parliament as a Green Paper in March of this year. It emphasizes the partnerships between entities responsible for regulating and managing protected areas, as well as the general public. Speaking at a virtual town hall meeting recently, Minister with responsibility for the environment, Senator Matthew Semuda, encouraged Jamaicans to let their voices be heard on the matter.
And to further refine the draft policy, we recognize the importance of engaging and educating Jamaicans about the importance of protected areas. By strengthening communication, education, and public awareness, we can foster a culture of conservation and secure the involvement of local communities and other key stakeholders.
Interested persons may watch the full town hall meeting on the Ministry and JIS's YouTube pages to learn more about the policy. The document can also be found on the Ministry's website at megjc.gov.jm. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
We all play a pivotal role in proactively filling up the blood bank by donating blood, by encouraging those who can donate to do so regularly, and by offering support, whatever that looks like. So be it to retweet it, be it to ask a family member, tell a friend, to tell a friend, a co-worker, a colleague, even a stranger.
1 liter of blood can save 3 lives. You can give half of that at any of the Ministry of Health and Wellness's blood collection sites. There is no time to wait in a time of crisis where blood is needed. Every passing moment, the life of someone who needs blood hangs in the balance.
I stand here before you as a testimony of the life-saving effects of donating blood. Someone gave, that's why I am alive today.
If you are 17 to 60 years old and in good health, please give so others can live.
The government remains committed to making decisions that benefit our nation's interests. Let's look at some of the decisions taken at the office of the Prime Minister this past week.
A comprehensive Hurricane Beryl recovery plan is now being implemented following the announcement last week by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. It includes a $3.9 billion phased repair schedule for health facilities over 12 months. The Ministry of Health will execute this in 2 phases.
And phase 3 will be focused on making facilities resilient to natural disasters and meet business continuity standards for health. This is expected to be completed in 24 months.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority has been empowered with $500 million to carry out a national cleanup initiative. This is being supported by $800 million assigned to the National Works Agency for the same project.
It is our intention to utilize the labor of community personnel, aided by the use of small tools and heavy equipment where necessary.
And to prevent an outbreak of mosquito-borne diseases, Mr. Holness also announced a $300 million dengue mitigation campaign for the next 6 weeks. Having received assessments of damage to date,
an allocation of $1 billion Jamaican dollars has been made towards providing grants and assistance for restoration, reconstruction, and relocation.
Provisions were also made through the National Housing Trust for contributors and mortgages.
There is the peril insurance for NHT mortgages. The NHT will give a moratorium for NHT mortgages, and there is a special home improvement loan for roof and home repairs due to the hurricane. And we will also give a special home grant for vulnerable NHT contributors who sustained damage in the wake of Beryl.
The NHT will also be contributing $200 million to the national restoration effort for Hurricane Beryl. To ease the water woes of communities still without the commodity, roving generators will be deployed to pumping stations that are without electricity.
We will be mounting these generators on flatbed trucks so that they can move between communities to allow for temporary reprieve while storage tanks, both households and communities, are refilled. We are targeting approximately 50 of these mobile generators to work in parallel with the JPS effort.
Mr. Holness says the first phase of the initiative to purchase generators and build resilience of the NWC will cost approximately $750 million. Continuing his update on the recovery process, the Prime Minister reports that the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, will be getting help from the region to fast-track restoration efforts. This is from the Caribbean Electrical Utility Services Corporation, CARILEC.
The JPS has indicated that they are targeting the week ending August 10th for full restoration island-wide.
Meanwhile, a $1 billion line of credit has been made available for large-scale poultry operators. This will benefit broiler companies and/or approved farmers, facilitated by the Development Bank of Jamaica, the DBJ.
This is very important for our food security and to ensure that there is no shortage of chicken, which could impact price.
Going a step further, 2,000 micro-business operators will receive grants of $100,000 each. This will cost the government $200 million. The National Insurance Scheme will also waive the life certificate requirement for the August payment of pension benefits. 200 summer workers have been assigned to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security to help execute its assessment and identification of persons in need of support.
In this period, whilst the Ministry of Labor and Social Security team is out there doing assessment, we are also trying to identify the persons who should be on the social pension but are not on the social pension. So we will use this as an exercise to get more people on the social safety.
Another 300 workers from the Youth Summer Employment Program will help to fast-track rapid assessments being done by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. ODPEM will also be launching a program focusing on resilient roofing through the promotion and distribution of hurricane straps. Prime Minister Holness says a committee will be named shortly to review the country's disaster preparedness mechanism. The intention is to make improvements that are needed now.
So that if we are hit by another disaster, which is quite likely in this hurricane period, that we are not just prepared, but we are ready to act.
He was addressing the Jamaica Government Pensioners Association's 57th annual general meeting. Mr. Holness also indicated that deliberate and direct strategies were being considered to leverage the knowledge and skills of pensioners to support the growth of the economy.
And this can be done particularly in helping us with training, helping us with reviews. And nowadays, you don't have to travel to work. You can work online.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was at King's House on Thursday for the swearing-in of Justice Marva MacDonald Bishop as the first female president of the Court of Appeal.
Justice MacDonald Bishop, your swearing in today marks a historic moment for our judiciary and for Jamaica. I am confident that under your leadership, the Court of Appeal will continue to uphold the highest standards of judicial excellence.
Justice MacDonald Bishop was also awarded the Order of Jamaica for her distinguished service to the judiciary. Prime Minister Holness also acknowledged outgoing President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Patrick Brooks.
I extend my gratitude to Justice Brooks for his many years of distinguished and selfless service at various levels of our justice system.
Other engagements by Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week included a courtesy call by the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Most Reverend Justice Welby, his wife, and other leadership of the Anglican Church in Jamaica. The conversation ranged from health and education to hurricane recovery and the role of the church in creating peace in the society. Prime Minister Holness also hosted the Premier of the Cayman Islands, Juliana O'Connor Connolly, who made a significant support to the country's hurricane recovery efforts.
This is not a small contribution.
It's a deposit.
200,000 United States dollars. It's significant, and we appreciate it. And I can guarantee you that this will be used to assist the families who have been displaced and dislocated. In fact, this will go into our disaster preparedness fund.
Premier O'Connor Connolly also toured sections of Clarendon that were severely impacted by Hurricane Beryl. There was also the handing over of 4 units under the new social housing program in St. Elizabeth and 1 in Manchester on Friday.
This is going to break intergenerational poverty. This is an asset that your children can inherit.
And to all the persons who is a part of the new social housing program that made today possible, we want to say thank you very much. We really appreciate what you have done for our family. Thank you very much.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
It's never easy to bounce back from a natural disaster, but residents of St. Elizabeth and Maypen in Clarendon are staying united through it all. Let's hear what they have to say.
Despite the challenges brought by Hurricane Beryl, Jamaicans are uniting with words of encouragement, showing solidarity and perseverance. Let's hear the inspiring messages of hope and resilience from those affected in some areas of St. Elizabeth and Clarendon.
But thank God we're alive. Our life is spared. And that shows us that God is a great God and He can do anything. And we have to stand to the test.
I go through a lot of damage. So I have to try and bounce back. Because, you know, sitting down, nothing gonna happen. So I have to come back to work. So that's my inspiration to come back and look food to start all over again.
Just want to add a few words to those who have lost and those who are going through some real tough time. For me, thank God it's not bad. I mean, we had back water, light. We didn't have much damage, but I know a lot of people are going through, especially in the St. Elizabeth area. We have a lot of relatives from, and I know it's not easy.
Everybody get together as a family, and if we have anything, we share it along with one another.
We need to be closer as a nation.
Well, neighbors and family are right so far. We get good support from neighbors and family. But most likely, most of them in the same situation as we said we, so we have to just support each other.
We are one out of many, one people. And division is going to just kill us. I am having grandchildren now. I want them to see a better world than I have. So Jamaica, one love, man, and keep that way there. Everybody help one another.
Who have generator, help each other, charge them phone. Right now, bring one come to get a, what you call it, but them say it come from England, so you know get that part. So now we go and look one them have and help people see them here.
As we continue to rebuild and support one another, these voices of encouragement remind us that together we are stronger than ever.
The business is going good now. I think, but not really pick up the right way yet, but it's going.
It's coming along better, you know, because since JPS I restored the light and the water coming back in Maypen now, so it's a lot better.
Jamaicans have to know, so they have to prepare for anything that coming now. But not for them to take storm serious. And so, but no, they get to see what's going now. And think, but yeah, go on, don't go cook a little dumpling and butter, eat the dumpling and butter. That's all.
No matter much preparation I do, you have to look for the unexpected anytime.
The only thing I can say is just to encourage persons, especially for those that are in the hospital, because I've had an experience where I was in the hospital while Beryl was going on, and it was really traumatic. Just to try and stay calm, because I mean, at the time you have the experience of those loved ones admitting, experiencing some trauma, and it would be good and really, really great if it is that you encourage someone at that time. You know, try not to get too hysterical. I can also commend the nurses and the doctors. They were excellent during that time. They really and truly encouraged us. And for that, I am grateful.
The breeze blow down all the mango them, all the banana, the coconut tree, the breadfruit tree, and level it down, and we have to just bear it. You know, all the banana tree them, it knock them down flat. Some put up on these bunch. The river throw them down. Throw them down, throw them down, knock them down. I'm gone. We just bear it and call it a day.
I wasn't really affected much, but there are a lot of people who lost a lot of stuff, and I'm here to encourage you all to stay strong and just know that it takes time to get those things back, but at the end of the day, everything will be okay.
Go and plan some more. Plan some more and try again. And if you can't get any help, you take it. The government can help you to get back some more help and little more food to eat and strength. We say, encourage we, make it go again. We don't fight now, we don't go out. I know there's a road to travel to, hard road to go to. So we have to fight too.
Yeah, man, we have to hustle, you know. How we say, hustle, hustle. JIS, hustle, hustle. Hustle the money, we have to hustle. Anything we have to hustle, you know. Yo, JIS, how we say hustle. Yeah, man.
And that's it for today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Remember, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Do join us again tomorrow for another informative show. Remember to visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do stay safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.